All right, good morning, everybody. So pretend I have finished adding on all my texture to my shell. So the last thing that we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to poke a hole and we're gonna need to add our name, okay? Now, if I just put this in the kiln as is with no hole, it's going to explode. Like it will literally explode in the kiln. Okay, because the air that's inside this, the kiln gets really hot. And when the air on the inside of this form, because it's enclosed, when the air heats up, air expands. Well, if you give it a hole, then the air as it slowly expands is gonna go out of the hole. Well, if you don't provide this with a hole so the air can get out easily, it's gonna make its own hole. If you don't have a hole, the air's still gonna spread out. It's still gonna heat up and the molecules are gonna be more excited and it's gonna expand. And if you don't provide it with a hole, it will make its own hole and it will be a giant hole and it's a giant mess in the kiln. And it'll ruin your project and most of the projects near yours. So it's really, 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 really important that we add a hole. Now, it doesn't have to be a big hole, okay? It only has to be the thickness of your needle tool. So you wanna pick some place that is not gonna be like super obvious that, you know, you're not really gonna notice. So it might be on the inside here, or like, since we're gonna have to have one side that's not glazed anyway, so it can sit in the kiln, wherever you've decided, you know, your favorite side is, then the opposite side is where you're gonna put your hole in your name, okay? So for me, I've decided I'm gonna add in my name and my hole in here. So by a hole, all you have to do is literally just take your needle tool and go poink, and then just wobble it just a little bit, just to make sure that it's actually a hole, okay? That's it. That's the only hole. It does actually have to go into the inside, but that's the size hole you need. Sometimes students will wanna like take like the purple pencil I gave them and like stab a giant pencil hole in there. If you do that, it's A, unnecessary, it looks kind of dorky, and B, all of your shakers that you just spent forever making are gonna fall out. So who wants their shakers to fall out? Not me. So I'm not gonna do that. So the next thing, once I've made my hole with my needle tool, and it could be like on the end here, it could be up there, wherever you need to. But anytime there's an enclosed space, you gotta add a hole. So now for my name, I'm gonna switch from my needle tool and I'm gonna use my pencil tool. And it's kind of hard to see it on camera, but I'm just gonna write my name on here. Now for you all, you need to add on your first and last name. Now, if you're like, but Ms. E, my name is crazy long. Yeah, well, my last name is Eatington. That's not short either. So like if you have a nickname that you go by, like if you're like, my name is Jonathan, then, and you wanna put John and your last name on there, that's okay. But you're just gonna write your name on the inside. Make sure you're not getting any clay boogies, or whatever side you decide is your least favorite side, right? And you're just gonna add in your name and you're gonna smooth out any clay boogies that get added in, okay? First and last name. All right, so hole, super important. Name, super important. And no, initials are not the same as your full name. You're like, but I'm the only so-and-so in the whole school. Yeah, it still makes it really difficult sometimes because you might be the only JT in class, but I have multiple classes. So full name and a hole. All right, thanks everybody. Be creative and have a great day.